What's up, beautiful people, to another episode of the Conversations with Christians.
You forgot the name of the show for a second.
I did. It happens just that fast, right? You talking about that short-term memory, you know, said it happens.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, we welcome you all here to another episode, which we get to have conversations based off of our Christian beliefs from two men, right? And so, hey, my name is Ricky Jones Jr., and we also have
O'Neal Delva in the house.
Meow. But nonetheless,
it goes actually today, the meow.
Oh.
Yeah. Go ahead, continue.
All right, okay.
Continue.
Talk that talk. But nonetheless, with it all, we are excited that you are here today. And so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into this episode because we are trying to help people, okay?
Yes,
more than anything, we're trying to help our single sisters, okay?
Yeah.
Our single sisters from being single anymore, okay?
Yeah.
Because I really do. I personally want all people that desire to be married.
So wait, you said single sisters will not be single anymore. So you believe after they watch today's episode,
it'll be an aha moment.
It's a done deal. They're getting married as soon as this episode is done. They're getting married.
If it's their desire, they will get married. Not as soon as this episode is done. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't guarantee that. The only way I could guarantee that if I'm out here marrying people.
Okay.
And I'm not marrying nobody.
I was about to say, sound like you ready, like, oh, okay, like to
one.
Okay, just one. All right.
It was one.
All right.
Her name is Crystal.
That's it.
But in it all, with it all, we just trying to help, you know what I'm saying? Because we know there is a wonderment in the world of like, what's up with these Christian men out here in these streets? And I even sometimes too be wondering like, what's up with brothers that be single for a long time? Like, man, what you got going on? I'd be quick to ask, man, why you not married?
Yeah.
What you waiting on?
Well,
what you need to get together. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about all of it. But I think you got something that you want to start.
But before we jump into things, you know, we like to take a little time to get to find out a little bit more about this guy over here, Ricky. So you know, we got some questions. We did this recently, and I think others joined or they enjoyed the question. So we got some things. So rapid fire. You have 1 minute to answer as many of these as possible. We're actually gonna end up going through the whole thing though. All right, here we go. Here. So is it? Here we go. You ready, Ricky?
Yep.
All right. Ricky Jones Jr. or the second? Which one? You like
Junior.
Junior versus the second?
Absolutely.
Oh, the second sounds good though, bro.
No.
All right. Do you like scary movies?
I did.
All right. What's your favorite scary movie or scariest one that you watch?
My favorite one is The Orphan.
The Orphan?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna have to find out about that then. All right. Batman or Superman?
The Batman.
Batman. All right. Because of the money, Superman got unlimited powers, though,
I
bro.
like Batman. I love his swag.
All right. If you had one power, what would it be?
Wow. If I had one power, it would be the ability to be invisible.
Invisible. All right. Okay. Now, does the clothes disappear with you, or what happens?
So. And then, I'm not invisible. I'm a freak of nature. Just walk around clothes.
Okay.
What is that?
All right. Here we go. Dream car. What's your dream car?
Dream car is a Rolls Royce Dawn.
Oh, okay. Are you
drop head?
Are you left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed.
All right. Would you ever let your kids have a pet?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And what is one thing that you do not like about your wife?
One thing I don't like about my wife is I can't think of anything because I love everything about my wife. Even the things that may seem like an imperfection for the moment turns out to be good for the end. So I love it now.
I like how you twisted that.
I'm just saying, at the end of the day, because I tried to find something and I honestly drew a blank, and then I had an epiphany. And that is why, okay? And so even the different things that I would say, like, man, this agitates me, it's okay because it allows me to see things from another perspective.
Yeah.
But in it all, with it all, you tried.
I did try to get you because I got you one time last time.
You didn't get me, that was my truth.
Yeah. I didn't think you were going to answer. I didn't think you were going to answer that one. Yeah. And I was waiting to see what you were going to say for this one about the one thing that you don't like about your wife.
Yeah.
So Crystal, he likes everything about you apparently.
I do, and it all works out, right?
So keep doing what you do
and all that you do. Boom chakalaka, right? But we are talking about wives and spouses and things like that.
Yes.
And even talking about the different qualities and characteristics that were like, yes, these are different things that we desire for a spouse, and allow for us to say, Crystal is my spouse, and Jessica is his spouse. Yeah. And we talk about those things because, it could be those fine little details. Not to say, ma'am, you should take on these characteristics or qualities to say, this is what a man wants. But just to allow for you to see yourself in another way is a part of this conversation. But then two, even just talk through like, how does one go from being single to being dating to then being married, right? Yeah. Like, what is the mindset? What are the qualities and things that are going through people's minds? Because people get married quite often. Yeah. People get divorced quite often. However, there are some people that never get married, and they're like, man, why not me? Right? Yeah. And so even I started off with the thought that, man, like, I've dated before, I was married to Crystal, and even too, I'll say, like, once I was in my latter part of my college days, I was pretty much serious about, like, I want to get married. So, if any of my exes previous to that, I wasn't serious. But I was like, I want to get married. So I started dating with the attitude and mindset that I want to get married. And so I would date and I would, ask questions, right? And I would even say it, bro. I would say it like, I'm definitely looking to get married. Yeah. And I think that's a quality, ladies, that you should be listening out for from a man, that if you're wondering whether or not he's the one or we're going to get married, is he talking about marriage? Because I was talking about it, and I actually ran a girl away with the
you talked about
I talked about it, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I'm looking to get married. I'm not playing and things like that.
She was like, oh, okay. She was like, oh, wow. Slowly sliding away. Oh, all right. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the cool thing is about that, I think that's God just protecting me. I can't even remember who it was.
Oh,
right.
That's really good.
And even after it happened, I don't even remember who it was. Yeah. And I think God did it that way to protect me, to make sure I knew I was doing the right things. I had the right mindset, and not to be, deterred by her reaction to her response. Yeah. But, that was the first thing I would say. Bro, I was talking to date. I was talking with marriage in mind. And I was like,
That is really good. Wow. Because just like you were saying, to listen, right? And listen and to pay close attention. One of the things I'll say, not just women, but we as people, we sometimes think we can change people, right? Like we are going to come into someone's life to be that savior, be that light, be the thing to, at times you can change people's, thinking and so on, but that's good. Like, what is he saying, right? When y'all first met, and, wherever you are in life, right? If you're in your teens, okay, maybe granted, you might not be talking about marriage-ish at that point, or early 20s. Maybe not so much, but hey, you know what? Yeah, what do you want in the future? I would say for me, I knew at a very young age, and I don't know about you, but like I would think about, and I think I mentioned to you previous to one episode where if I was dating someone or interested in someone, I would take my last name and add it to their name to see how that matched, how that lined up, if it sounded good. And then I knew from a young age that I wanted to get married, and I knew that I wanted to have 3 to 4 kids. And I knew I wanted, twin girls, and I knew I wanted certain things. Literally, I thought about all of those things. Now, it's good for you to pay close attention. Now, granted, not first date, right? If you're hanging out with someone the very first time, don't just drop it on and be like, so what you want to do? I'm ready, clock's ticking, what you going to do? Then, you don't want to scare someone away, but also to be mindful and listen to hear what are the things that he is saying that he wants in a relationship, wants in life, to know, okay, are we equally yoked? Are we thinking the same? Or are we basically what I want in the direction that I want my life to go, in the direction that he is thinking, or, a guy, or maybe for a female, the direction she is thinking that she wants to go does not line up with mine. Not to say like, it's necessarily bad, right? Where someone's, but maybe your goals aren't just line up. Maybe you want a family, but he wants to focus on career, or vice versa, whatever.
To your point, I love that too, because an aha moment that for me, outside of God, that Crystal's my wife, is that I had a desire to travel. I knew I was going to be traveling around the world, sharing the love and word of God, right? She says to me, oh, I do missions. I'm here to do missions. I've been doing missions all my life, traveling around the world. I said, boom. Yeah. There's that thing, you know? Right? And though it was done differently and spoken of differently, it was still in harmony with each other. So you're right.
Yeah. I mean, and I mean, certain things too, where as you were talking, and as I was thinking too, just thinking like, okay, you don't necessarily want to push someone away or discount completely. Maybe someone has never traveled before. Yes. But maybe that's something they've always wanted to do, or whatever it might be. So, okay, I know that I want, do mission trips around the world, and I want to do this and that. And then that person might say, well, I've never been on a plane before, but don't have that to be the thing ultimately, like, oh,
deal breaker.
Oh, I can't be with you.
But are they open?
Are you open?
Right. And I actually dated somebody that, well, I won't say dated. I talked to somebody that wasn't open to traveling. I was like, okay, well, that's a deal breaker. Yeah. Like, you're so fixated on being here that you have no desire to go anywhere else. Yeah. I already knew that wasn't going to work because I already knew what my life would be designed to be. So I'm saying it to say, ladies, right? So think of who you are, know of what you will do, what you look to do, and who God has called you to be. And be vocal about that. Be honest about that, so that whomever you're talking with across the table, next to you in the seat, you can know, y'all can know whether or not this is a fit, and be apt to ask him, right? Because Crystal even asked me, "What do you plan on doing? What do you see for your life? What does God say to you?" Be open about it, be transparent about it, because you don't want the lack of knowledge to be the reason why it doesn't work. But and I said it to say, because it could be a number of things, right? People have lists at the end of the day. Some people have lists that they know. Some people have lists that they don't know. Some people have lists that they wrote down of a spouse that they want, right? And I'm saying that to say, it could be some things that you're like, he didn't check that one off, or she didn't check that one off. But if your purpose is aligned and you're like, man, I can see my life working out with this individual, even though, you know what I'm saying, they right now rolling in something that I don't want to drive in, or they living somewhere that I don't want to live. Those things can change, okay? So I'm saying it to say, don't worry about that. Let the coreness of what matters, purpose, and life's destiny be the driving force.
That is true, Don't push someone away because something minor, right? Because like, oh man, I can't ever, but might be a good man, a good, person. But don't push that person away solely based on that one little thing, if it is something that you can work around. And also, one of the things I'll say when thinking about a spouse or a partner or whatever, think long term. Sometimes we want to focus on just living the now, right? It's good to think about and live in the now and so on. Yeah, that's good and certain. But then at the same time, though, you have to know, what do I want out of this? What do I want out of life, right? What do I want out of this relationship that I'm potentially in or trying to get in or whatever? Am I just trying to have a good time now and find someone to go out with and someone to talk to, or
hit it and quit it?
Or hit it and quit it? Like, what is it that I want out of this thing? And also, what is it that this person who I'm talking to want long-term out of this thing or whatever? I mean, if we're thinking about our spouses and so on, I know when I'd first met my wife, Jessica, I was a junior at USF at the time. So you already know, when you're in college, junior, you're in your major, and it's like go time. It's intense, It's not, time to play around and so on and so forth.
Not the fluff stuff.
So my story is unique in that when she came into my life, I also had 2 additional bundles of joy that also made their way into my life.
Twin girls
that also made their way into my... Yeah, and that's the thing, right? So that's the thing. The things that you believe and you want, it'll come to you. Yep. Maybe it might not come to you in the way that you think. True. The way that you had originally in your mind planned. Yep. So going back to something you'd mentioned a little bit earlier too, and then I'll go back to the story about my wife and so on. But before I forget, when you talked about, having a list and so on, it's good to have a list of what you want, qualities of a man, marriage and so on and so forth. But, sometimes, let me see, how should I phrase it so it doesn't come across, have standards, but be realistic. That's what I want to say. Okay, boom. Be realistic in your standards to where it's not something like, I'll say it the way that I'm thinking. I'm not going to say it any other way.
Or say the way it's happened in movies.
And so if you are a strong 7, I'll say it like that, a strong 7, you could potentially get a 10 or better, right? Okay. But at the same time, don't have your standards be so high that you are totally dismissing everyone else who comes in your life because you are waiting for this Prince Charming or person who's going to take you off, sweep you off your feet and this and that, whatever else, when, you know, like you barely love yourself because of condition and different things or whatever. But that's a whole nother conversation we to not get into. But anyway, but all that to say, don't, you know, totally discount someone, because who knows, if that were the case, like Jessica and I, we might not be together, right? Because when I first met her, all right, I was a college student, didn't have any money, I was broke. And it's funny because I talked about the fact that you don't realize how poor you were until you later in life when you're at a certain place, and then you can look back and say, God dang, I had nothing, right? So I had nothing. So if Jessica was of the mindset that I needed to be, you know, certain money and this and that and everything else, like maybe we might not be together. But with me though, with her, the thing that I saw that like really, you know, attracted me to her or got me to like fall in love with her was just her desire to be there and help and to serve others, right? Family and serving others. Those were the two things for me. I know growing up, my family, we didn't have like a tight bond, and I wanted that, right? And she and her family, they have like super duper tight bond. If I were to tell you one of the things that her mother said to me when we had first gotten together about if Jessica does not want to give it up, right? She said, just call me and I'll tell her, go in there and wash up and give that man what he wants. Her mother said this to me. I was like, wow.
Right. This how we talk?
This how we talk. If she does not want to, you call me up and I'm going to tell her to get in there and wash up so you can give that man what he wants.
Respect.
Wow. But I saw her desire to, you know, like be there for other people, and which is something that I love to do, right? To kind of help to, it's a blessing to be a blessing. So whenever possible, help to serve others and help to put family, you know, like first. So those things were things that I saw that lined up with what I believe. And then that helped to, you know, kind of strengthen us even more, you know. But
no, that's the thing. And I'll say even too, when I saw Kristen, I was like, I wonder if this is a thing, right? Is I love the way she dressed. And it's funny because looking back on it now, I didn't catch her in her real state of dressing. As far as like, so I like, personally, I like modest wear, right? Where you're not showing off your curves and all of that. You're not showing off skin. Like I don't too much care for that.
So you want her covered from head to toe?
No. Yes, covered, but not like in the way that you're trying to portray. Right? I want clothes to be there. It don't have to be no sheet, no cloth situation. You know what I'm saying? But let's not bring attention to ourselves, okay? Well, that's where I'm at. I don't do it to myself, and so I'm conservative in that way. And so I met her in the fall of a semester, so she was wearing hoodies and jeans. I was like, all right. She dressing in my situation, right? Bruh. Then we came down to Florida. Down to Florida. I started seeing some dresses. I was thinking, whoa.
What is this?
You going to the beach with that sheer dress?
Now I'm going out.
No, I'm going to church.
Oh, snap.
I was like, whoa. Okay. And I'm just blown. And like, she telling people like, oh, he's looking at my dress. And they was like, oh yeah, this how she. I'm thinking, whoa. But what am I saying all of this to say, right? Long story short, men on the men's side, we definitely look at what we see first. And like, you know,
that's true. We are visual people.
We're visual and it catches our eyes. But then on the other side, women know that us men have different thoughts, desires, and wants for our women to either look like, dress like, and portray themselves. So like, what's your way? Do you care what Jessica wears when she goes out?
Let me see. Do I care?
Are you like...
Well, not so much now. I'll say. Let me see. I'm trying to think if I even really cared. I will, if she's dressed a certain way, I think, okay, she knows what she's wearing, and she does not wear loose, baggy, or whatever clothes. Her clothes, for the most part, they are, you know, fitted or form-fitting, whatever, you know. So, it doesn't really bother me too much. I might see something where I'm like, oh, that's what you're gonna wear? Oh, okay. And leave it at that. And then let her break it down or dissect it however she wants. But for the most part, No, it's not a thing that I necessarily focus too much on.
But I think what you're ultimately saying is helping. What I'm ultimately trying to say is the fact that, oftentimes there are cases where women will wear certain things that are like very revealing with the idea that I'm trying to get attention. But the attention that you're going to get is not the attention that you want long term, to your point of being long term. It'll be attention most likely that will appeal to your current need, whatever that is, but it won't be the attention necessary for a long-term gain. And so, I'm not saying that to say like cover yourself up and that's the only way that you're going to get married, but I'm saying with the idea that what you wear will affect who you attract.
That is true. And what you wear, where you are, all of the above. What you
wear, where you are will attract the type of individual that you have. Now, it's funny because just now being funny in the sense of things, I didn't realize like how much church sleeping around takes place.
Okay.
I didn't, right? I grew up in the church, right? And so
it was happening around you. You didn't know it.
I didn't even know it, right? And I became an adult, and some things started coming my way, and I'm like, whoa. Wait a minute. Meals were being presented to me and things like that. I'm like, wow.
Wait, you said meals?
Meals, yeah. Like, hey, I cooked this for you.
Oh,
I thought
snap.
You should have it.
Oh, I'll bring it to you.
Yeah, brought it to the church.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Or like, hey, we should go out.
What does it say? They say, what's the way to the man's, heart?
Heart is his stomach, not mine. I don't even have to eat. Not mine. I'm the one, I eat the least. You know what I'm saying? but I'm also thinking about who it came from. I don't think she watches the podcast.
Okay. Don't name names. Don't name names.
Oh, yeah, I'm Dev. I would never name a name.
Okay.
Because my church folk, they watch this. But it all
she knows she
church
is.
folk from Atlanta, right? She know what it is. But I say all that to say that I don't even know why I even went there. But the truth is, right, with that, now this is what I will say. When I found out that it was like a lot of church sexing going on, I said to myself, I don't want to be that guy, right? I don't want to be known as the guy that's been bouncing around, sleeping around, and things like that. I will try one woman in this church, right? And if it didn't work out, it didn't work out, and I did. Like to my father's church when he pastored, I dated the young lady out of that church, and it didn't work out.
That was it.
And that was it, right?
You didn't want to be that guy.
I didn't want to be that guy, right? And so I'm saying it to say to the ladies, you may be wondering, oh man, he gave such and such a try, but he not giving me a try. You may be thinking, what's wrong with me? And really, it's not anything wrong with you per se. He may really just be trying to keep his integrity or keep his reputation in a good spot. Because truth be told, we don't want to be known as that just as much as you don't want to be known as that. So even, I said it to say, that's why I hate it for women that are single, but we have single guys in the church, and it's like, oh man, why don't such and such talk to such and such? And it's like, man, like, buddy just...
Yeah, I mean, people talk.
Might be hurt.
People talk. You don't want to be, word gets around like, hey, did you know Ricky talked to me? Oh, he talked to me? Oh, he talked to me too? Oh, he doing... Oh, that's what he does. He goes around and he says sweet nothing to the women, in the church in their ears and this. Oh, that's what... Now, boom. That's kind of the same thing with me with my wife. We worked together. We worked, but I would see her all the time, but I never approached her at work. But I jokingly say I used to stalk her,
how's it a joke? Every joke has some truth to it.
It has some truth, but just the word doesn't sound good. It's reality, but
so it is true.
It doesn't sound good.
It just don't sound good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to, think of a word that sounds like, the word, when hoeing around, right?
Yes.
Promiscuous. Like, oh, wow, that sounds...
Doable.
It sounds elegant,
Hello.
So instead of stalker sounds like, it sounds a little harsh.
Hello.
I don't know what's...
a better word for stalking?
Yeah, I was seeking. I was seeking her.
Yeah, you were seeking her. You were captivated by her presence.
No, I would see her all the time, and I would be like, oh, you know what? She's very beautiful. I wouldn't mind getting to know her and talk to her a little bit.
And then know her like the Bible or like...
I wasn't saved at the time, so no, I would say know her as in to find out a little bit more about her or whatever. Okay. I wasn't necessarily thinking... I think at this stage in life, when I had met Jessica, I was at the stage where I kind of wanted a girlfriend to like a long-term thing or whatever, right?
See, there's a thing. Boom. Hold your thought.
Yeah.
There's a thing, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not there, I guess this is not the thing. Your just is not there. But every man comes to a point where it clicks to say, I now want a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
Do it.
No, I mean, I saw her and I said, hey, I wouldn't mind getting to know her, find out a little bit about to see, hey, where we could potentially take this, right? Before her, it's funny because we've been married for 14 years, but the longest relationship that I had ever been in prior to that was like 7 months, you know? And it was with someone who, you know, again, we're not naming names, but this individual, she was nice and everything, but then like I had reached a point when we were dating where I said to myself, nah, this ain't it, you know?
Okay.
This ain't it. Like, just, she was really smart.
Yeah.
But like the words that she would use sometimes, like it made me feel small. You know what I mean? Like,
so she was too smart.
She was too smart, but then like also just, I don't know, not that she used hurtful words towards me, whatever, but like it was one of those things where I kind of felt like, yeah, we were gonna end up being like this, button heads, and a thing where you don't want to walk into a relationship with breaking up or divorce on your mind or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, so it's good to, going back to what you said earlier, you know, listening closely and being mindful of the things that are being said, that are being shown by this person who you potentially, and be realistic, be real with yourself to say, can I see myself with this person a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever it might be. Now, I will say, we as people, we are always changing, evolving, and, you know, different things, that maturing. The things that maybe I wanted 10 years ago, I don't necessarily want now. Not that it's, you know, like bad things or whatever, you know, but like things that I was focused on then, I'm not necessarily focused on now, right?
Right.
So it's good to also be with someone or watch and see, okay, potentially down the line, as I grow into my maturity even more so, you know, is this a thing like, you know, what this person is saying, potentially, do they have a vision for the future, or just focused on the now or whatever, you know? Will we gel down the line, or would we potentially, you know, butt heads? Now, last thing I'll say, and, you know, turn it over to you, but I know if you start with like a lot of arguments or multiple breakups or whatever, now we're all different, our stories are all different, whatever, right? But at the same time though, if that's a thing that you deal with a lot early on, just know down the line that might be a thing that you have to deal with as well, unless, you know, you take it to God, of course, you know, allow him to put him at the center of all that you do. But then just know, if you start early and there are a lot of challenges, there potentially be challenges down the line, the same, if not more. So just, you know, you have to be mindful of those things.
Boom. And that even lines up with what I was even thinking of next. My final thought was that how you start a thing is how you will continue through that thing. And so definitely being mindful of that. I know that Chris and I started with God. Like, we met in seminary school, learning about God, and we were meeting up doing homework assignments about God. And then as we started talking together one-on-one, it was about God. And so, you know, our life continues on now, and it's about God, right? And I say that to say it's a common thread through it. And even when I met her, like, it wasn't on some, oh, we about to hit it and quit it type situation, right? It wasn't like, oh, let me test it and see it, taste and see the situation, right? Which is a thing that people say that they want to do or should do or need to do, but it's like, you probably want to stay away from that, because that may be the focus of your mindset, and you may not make that shift to say, okay, this is my spouse. It may come across, man, that, oh, this is one of the ones, or lady, you may not cross over, or, I don't know, the list can go on, but I'm saying that to say at the crust of it all is to make sure that however you start, whatever it is that you're starting, if it's starting good, it's I would say it will remain good as long as good is in the midst of it, right? If it starts off bad, rocky, full of arguments, frustration, lies, deceit, it's going to be some of that throughout, right? And so in it all, with it all, I know as a man, I was mindful of how we not only started things, but how we worked throughout things, because I knew as a man, I had options. At the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So if this went awry, even though in my situation it was like God ordained, like God said this is my wife, and this was like our first time together alone that God said it, and so I already knew, like, boom, shakalaka, this was it. However, like, if we was arguing and God didn't say all of that good stuff, I knew I would know without a shadow of a doubt, I could leave and I can get married to somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Like, no disrespect to Crystal or any other woman, but as men, we have options, bro. And women have options too, don't get me wrong. But I think we, as men, have more.
Women do have options. Women, you know.
I don't think so, bro. They don't have options like us. I don't think so, bro. We have far more options than they do.
Okay, let me see. I'm trying to think.
It's far more single women out there in these streets than it is single men.
Okay, I guess, yeah. Okay, what I was thinking as far as, you know, like Who Run the World girls or whatever, right? So I was thinking around.
That's what Beyonce said.
Yeah, that's what Beyonce said. So I was thinking like the fact that men, in my opinion, will do more of, how should I phrase it? The female potentially could. It's in my mind. I know how I'm trying to say it, but I'm trying to say it in a way that it doesn't come across.
You're saying that women have the power.
They have the power.
And that men don't.
Well, they have the power. I guess what you're saying is the men have options. Like, okay, well, I could go on to the next one because potentially there's another, I'll just say, you know, desperate female or whatever. So,
sure.
Or another one, period.
Correct, that's not desperate.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we would go from a mess to somebody that's desperate, because that's going to be a mess.
I don't know, bro. But
you might be a little stalkerish.
But I think, yeah, women have the power. But, yeah, but what I was thinking, though, as far as what I was going to say, just to add a little bit, too, is to not be in a hurry, to not try to rush things, right? Because we're all, of course, different stages in life, right? And there have been people who've gotten married at like 40-something, 50-something, older than that or whatever, maybe don't have any kids. I know, you know, in particular, a couple in our church, I think she was 40-something, he was either 40-something or 50-something, and they got married and had their first kids together, whatever. So, you know, it's good to be patient. Just because it's not in, you know, play right now does not necessarily mean that's not something. If God told you something and you're believing something, hey, I believe that I'm going to get married, I'm going to have, you know, kids and so on and so forth. Don't make it be any and every man you come across, or you just like, hi, how you doing? My name is O'Neal. Oh, are you the one? You know, like, that's how you get in situations, right? That's how you get in situations, end up like, oh, I was just saying hi, and next thing you know, I'm married with kids and I didn't even want this. I just wanted to say hello or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and then now that's how potential issues occur, because the thing that you're saying that you want does not necessarily wasn't the thing that he wanted, but now he feels like he got bamboozled or suckered into being with you, when really it was just, you know, I said just to say hi, but maybe he just wanted to hit it and quit it, but then you finagled because of the thing that you wanted. You ended up kind of twisting it, and then down the line it's like, I didn't even want this, you know? How did I get here? I didn't even want this. But anyway, it's good to be patient, not to rush things. Have conversations, know what each other want in life, in relationships, right? And yeah, just talk.
With talk, I saw a TikTok, and it was this girl. She's a woman. I'm going to throw it out here. You let me know what you think about it.
Okay.
The videos that I saw, I probably watched like 3. Okay. And her videos, the 3 that I saw, and I believe all of them were like that, but it was all about having conversations with Bae. She's single, but she's like, I'm doing this to practice for when Bae comes. So she was like in the video like, ha ha ha, oh Bae, you so funny, ha ha ha, I'm gonna go get something, that was so funny. Or other was like, hey Bae, I'm about to go to work,
So there's nobody there, but she's pretending she's talking to someone.
Right, but it's the camera that she's talking
to.
But she's saying it as though she's talking to Bae. Even though Bae hasn't arrived.
Wow.
Like,
that's interesting. I mean, that's good.
You think it's good?
Good, and potentially, you know, maybe a little dangerous, right? Good in the sense that, okay, I don't know, in that situation, right? It's good to prepare and kind of think about, okay, your future spouse or partner, what potential life would be like with that person, right? But then at the same time, though, if in your mind, this imaginary person you've created, if the person you meet in real life does not fall in that category or that what you've identified in your head the person should look like, then it can become a bad thing, right? But, you know, I'm sure she's doing it for the clicks and to get people to, like, you know, comment or like her thing or whatever. But yeah, okay. I think it's good in a sense for you to think about wanting to be in, like, oh, you know, my husband, he's gonna be so funny, he's gonna do this and that or whatever. But then again, not to be so focused on, well, if he doesn't open the door and hold it open for me, then that's a deal breaker or whatever, you know?
Wow. So, yeah. I mean, you've given me another perspective. Yeah. I definitely was like, this chick is crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I thought, in a sense, like, if I saw this as a single man,
yeah,
I would run. Like,
you would?
Snap. Like, this is too much. But, in hearing your perspective, it gave me the thought that, I don't know, maybe there is something to see in it. Maybe she's even, like, speaking life into her situation, right? There's some good that could be seen in everything. Yeah. And so maybe that's the case, and maybe, you know, I should be a little bit more gracious, like you talked to us on Tuesday.
You gotta have grace, right? Yeah.
And not be quick to assume or cast judgment, which I did. I will be honest, I did. And so I like that.
She's thinking about the things that she wants, and, you know, manifesting, speaking it, bringing it to pass, whatever it might be. Now, again, she's doing it on that platform for the clicks and for the likes or whatever, but yeah.
Potentially.
But then at the same time, yeah, I mean, you think like, oh man, I'm gonna cook for my husband. Oh, I love to cook, and oh, he's gonna like to eat. Oh, what's gonna be my favorite meal to make for him? And it's like, ooh, he's gonna love, you know, my sweet potatoes or whatever. Or maybe I don't like sweet potato, like pie and whatever. So okay, if he doesn't like that, then maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do that. Like,
you've seen it? Good. You've seen it?
No, I don't know. I've never seen it before. But was that one of the things?
No, I mean, it felt like it.
Oh, okay. But whatever it is, it's good to think and plan. And, you know, we had talked about using your imagination, so to speak, but, you know, before, but it's good for you to think of the things that you want and to allow those, you know, as you're speaking and believing, and then those things to become reality, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, you're spared. Because I was thinking, like, man, don't do that. But, hey, there's somebody like him that's like, yay, he's preparing for me.
That's it. You know? Then so, that's if you jump into a relationship not thinking, right? And that's the thing, too, I'll say, last thing I'll say is sometimes we jump into relationships thinking it's going to be one thing. But that's not reality. That's not what it's like or whatever, you know? So without thinking about what marriage could look like, without thinking about what a long-term relationship with the partner could look like, you could potentially end up in trouble, right? Because the only thing you've ever thought about is just getting with someone.
Yeah.
But now, okay, we're together. Now what? You know?
Right.
Oh, I didn't think about everything. I just thought, I was just excited just to get with you, basically. Okay, now we're together. Now what? You know? So like, okay, now potentially, okay, well, we're just going to make things up. Now, of course, in life, things happen. We can't plan everything, right?
Yeah.
You can't plan it. You know, the only person who knows, you know, the alpha and the omega, or know the beginning, the end, and this and that. The only person who knows everything is, you know, God, right? Who knows everything that's going to happen in our lives and everything, you know, before we were, you know, bones forming our mother's womb and everything. He knew us, right? So he knew and he knows everything. So we as people, we don't know everything. I don't know what tomorrow holds, right? But it's good for us to plan for tomorrow, right? So you don't know what your relationship necessarily is going to look like. Maybe you're thinking it's going to be a light-skinned man with light eyes, but then you meet a dark-skinned man with, you know, chocolate eyes or whatever, you know?
That brother sweep you up, baby. Dark skin is in, baby. Dark skinned brothers, what's up?
So maybe it does not line up like that, but everything else, I mean, if you're speaking it and he's checking off the boxes, whatever else, and, you know, again, not to weigh too much on one thing, but, oh, no, he didn't hold the door for me. Oh, no, he doesn't, you know, like to wear shoes and this and that. Oh, have you seen his feet? Oh, no, that's all this scratching and so on. But
yeah,
but it's good for you to think about things, to plan things, speak it, and then again, be prepared for your future as you get ready to connect with someone. And
even if it's not right after this video, like this guy.
Well, Ricky claimed right after you watch this, you are ready to get married.
After you watch this, you will get another perspective on what A married man look for in a spouse and the thought patterns that we have. So, with that being said, we hope this has been beneficial for you and to you, so that either one, you can see why maybe singleness is still something that you are in, or on the other hand, sir, maybe you're like, oh man, like that lines up with what I'm thinking, blah, 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 I'm ready to find a spouse. Or it may be a light bulb to people that are already married, like, oh snap, you're right. And it may help to rekindle those things within those marriages, just to say, that is why I said I do. This is why I said, oh, rekindle. Let me go ahead and boom shakalaka, right? Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, we had a conversation about sex, so you might need to go ahead up in there, you know what I'm saying? After you don't think twice about the why you said what you said. And if she says no, you can call his mother-in-law and she will call your wife and make your wife do what your wife, what you want to happen. But in all, we love you all. We appreciate you all. If you haven't already done so, please click that subscribe button. Turn it from a red button into a gray button. And then tell somebody else to do the same thing. And watch all the videos. Yes, okay? Yes. Catch up, okay? We've been having some great conversations. Yeah. And we definitely want you to be a part of them, because they only build on each other. So as we talk here, we reference the past and the other past. And so to make it all flow with you and for you as well, catch up, okay? So go over there, listen up. We here and we going forward, okay? You want to say something?
No, just, you know, like you said, like, subscribe, drop comments. We love to see the comments, right? Let us know what you want to hear us cover in the future, or a future topic. Something maybe you're going through and you want for us to speak to. Something maybe you need encouragement, or, you know, whatever it is. Maybe you want to find out a little bit more about us and our lives as we share our journey. And yeah, just let us know. Drop it in the comments. We appreciate it.
That's it. And just like that, we'll see you on the next video. Peace.